Reminder, the first word was rowdy. If the person next to me is being rowdy, I might go ahead and finish that sentence. If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. Right, we know that rowdy means they're being kind of wild and noisy, so if a person next to me is being rowdy, I might politely ask them to stop or to calm down. Let's look at this example. Are you likelier to be rowdier when you play a game with your friends outside or inside? Go ahead, turn and talk with someone next to you or think to yourself. You can use this sentence frame. I'm likely to be rowdier when I play a game inside or outside because I agree. I think that we're probably likely to be rowdier when we're playing a game outside because we know that we can shout or talk louder than we normally would inside. Let's look at the next word. Remember, this word was impressive. Impressive means that it's something that you noticed and you remembered. So how might you feel if someone read a story you wrote and said, I think your story is impressive? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. If someone told me my story was impressive, I might feel blank because right, I might feel very proud because that tells me that the person remembered my story, they really noticed it, they paid attention, and they're able to remember and recall that meaning that it impressed them. So now I want you guys, we're going to play this game called Tell Me a Story. So I want you to think about the vocabulary words and how they're being used here. I'll tell the beginning of a story that includes one of the vocabulary words, and you use your imagination to make up the ending for the story. The first story uses the word impressive. So let's take a look. Tommy and Peter were hiking in the woods. Tommy stopped and pointed. Look at that, Peter, she exclaimed. Wow, Peter whistled. That's impressive. The impressive thing the children saw in the woods was, so how might you finish the story? What impressive things did they see? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. The impressive thing the children saw was, go ahead. Okay, let's try another one. David and his brother went to a baseball game, but they came home early because the crowd was too rowdy. What did the rowdy crowd do? Their sister asked. David explained. The rowdy crowd blank. How might you finish the story? What did the rowdy crowd do? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. The rowdy crowd. Great example. Let's look at the last word. We're using the word rowdier. Take a look at this photograph. Poor Mrs. Johnson. She looks kind of rough. I'm exhausted, Mrs. Johnson moaned to her husband. Yesterday, the children were rowdy. They ran through the house, jumping and shouting, but today they were even rowdier. How will you finish this story? What did the children do that was rowdier than running, jumping, and shouting through the house? If you have someone next to you, you can turn and talk or think to yourself. Mrs. Johnson's children were rowdier because they... Go ahead. All right, great work today, guys. We will see you tomorrow for day 3.